So home prices have skyrocketed over 8% in Sonoma County this past year, but still the area is receiving so many new residents. So why is that? Why are people still moving to Sonoma County in 2024? Well, as someone who used to live in the Bay Area and bought a home here nearly 10 years ago, I'll tell you exactly why people are moving here. So let's start by talking about California. For the first time since 2020, more people are moving to California than are moving away from it, with a net migration of 67,000 people over the past year, reversing the huge net loss of over 350,000 people in 2021 in the middle of COVID. I mean, a lot of people predicted the boomerang effect, with people moving away during COVID to places like Idaho or Bend, and then realizing a couple of cold winters later, it really wasn't all it's cracked up to be. And Sonoma County is definitely one of the beneficiaries of this net migration. So why are people still moving to Sonoma County in 2024? Well, there's so many reasons, but I'll touch on what I think are the most important things to me when I decided to move here. I mean, high up on my list was just the natural beauty of Sonoma County. We've got so many great recreation opportunities, making it a prime destination for people who just love the outdoors like me. I mean, the region's geography is so varied because you've got 50 miles of the Pacific coastline, but then inland you've got the undulating hills and stunning vineyards, which literally stretch all the way across the county. I mean, it's really hard not to find scenery that will appeal to most people's individual preferences. I mean, the climate's also really easy to enjoy. And the climate of Sonoma County is predominantly Mediterranean, characterized by warm, dry summers and cold, wet winters. I mean, the winters are definitely cooler than the Bay Area, but I actually really like that. It gives a much better sense of the different seasons, especially with the fall and the winter. This climate is ideal for outdoor activities nearly year round, enhancing the appeal for those looking to immerse themselves in the outdoor world. The mild temperatures and lots of sunshine make it perfect for, obviously growing grapes, but let's face it, just simply enjoying the outdoors. As someone who's a keen photographer, the rolling hills offer panoramic views and are frequently, shrouded in that soft light at golden hour, which really does make it a really special place to be, particularly in the closing hours of daylight. In fact, I was talking to somebody last week about the weather who actually lives in Boulder, Colorado, who really loves the outdoors and nature, but she's just so over the snow. So she's looking to move to Sonoma County. And that's definitely a common theme among many of my clients. Even if you live in San Francisco, which is less than an hour away, there is a big difference in the climate. Sonoma County experiences over 250 sunny days per year, which in contrast to San Francisco, which is obviously known for its microclimates and frequent fog, especially during the summer, sees a lot fewer sunny days, averaging around 160 days a year. And there's no question this is a big driver for many people moving from San Francisco. So now let's talk about the outdoor activities. Sonoma County's got so much. I mean, it really is a playground with a wide array of outdoor activities. I mean, hiking enthusiasts can explore miles of trails on parks like Trione-Annandale State Park, which is known for wildflowers in the spring, but it's also got pretty rugged and hilly terrain that can challenge even the most seasoned hikers. The park also offers excellent opportunities for mountain biking and horseback riding, with trails that offer varying levels of difficulty to meet everyone's needs. I mean, there are so many parks that offer a similar diversity of activities, so if that's important to you, it should be possible to find a place to live that is very accessible to one of these parks. For people who love water sports, the Russian River is definitely a central feature of Sonoma's outdoor lifestyle. I mean, obviously winds through quaint towns, through the redwood forest, providing loads of opportunities for kayaking, canoeing, stand-up paddleboarding. The river is definitely a favourite summer spot, ideal for leisurely floats that offer a respite from the summer heat. As well as that, the coastline offers more rigorous activities like surfing and windsurfing for those who think the river's a little bit tame, but that's definitely not for me. And the other thing to talk about is location. I mean, Sonoma County really is close to San Francisco. So living in Sonoma County, you really get the best of both worlds. It's like having your own slice of paradise with room to breathe, yet San Francisco's buzz is just an hour drive away, or now an electric train ride away. Thanks to the new smart train, zipping into the city for a work meeting or a Giants game or a night out, it's just so much easier than it used to be. Sonoma even has its own airport that's got an increasing number of flights to destinations up and down the west coast. So the only time you really need to go to SFO is if you're flying across country or want a direct international flight. For example, I flew to Iceland recently, and it was a short flight to Seattle, and then I flew a direct flight to Reykjavik. It was such a better flying experience by avoiding that trip to San Francisco Airport. I mean, it's not far, but it's just a pain. Are you likely to miss San Francisco? Well, if you live here, you really don't even need to go to San Francisco. I mean, there's plenty to do here to keep you entertained, right here in Sonoma County. And we've got a lively art scene that definitely punches well above its weight. For example, the Luther Burbank Center for the Arts offers a great lineup of performances, from big name concerts to engaging lectures, and also family shows as well. It's a cultural hub where the arts definitely come alive, providing year-round entertainment. Or you can catch a play at the 6th Street Playhouse in Santa Rosa, or enjoy some local jazz or classical performances at the Green Music Center in Ronan Park. If you're into festivals, don't miss the annual Sonoma County Harvest Fair, where wine and food, as well as art, definitely steal the show. I hope I've made it clear that you really don't have to go far to find both entertainment and places to have a good time. It's hard not to talk about Sonoma County without talking about the food scene. So wherever you choose to live in Sonoma County, you have great access to food and wine. The choices when it comes to food are only getting better and better as more chefs come to the county to practice their craft. Whether you're looking for baked goods in the morning or gourmet dining in the evening, you'll definitely be spoiled for choice. I mean, one of my favorites is Marla SR Bakery and Cafe, which is run by Amy and Joe Wolfe, who actually moved here from San Francisco, where they ran the really successful Marla SF Bakery. I actually helped them find their house here, which was super fun. They offer more than baked goods though, so do check out their brunch and lunch at the bakery in Santa Rosa, just in Railroad Square. The Star Group also has numerous restaurants around the county, including a couple of which are in Healdsburg, Willie's and Bravas, both pretty well-known restaurants. Both of these places serve small plates, the former being seafood and then Bravas being the classic Spanish tapas. And they've actually also just opened a new French place in Santa Rosa called Augie's French, which is definitely worth trying. I haven't actually been there yet, but I have heard it's good. And then good sushi is often associated with big cities, so it's really exciting that Sushi by Scratch has come to Sonoma County, and Healdsburg in particular, with other locations in Beverly Hills, Miami, and Chicago. I mean, it's even a favourite of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. I'm not a fan of theirs, by the way, but that's a whole video in its own right. The menu is all nigiri sushi, and the feast is limited to 12 diners at a time. I've not been yet, but I've got some good friends who've been, and they definitely recommend it. But they do recommend that you go with a whole group, so it's probably better to go with a bunch of friends so you can take over the entire sushi bar. Another new restaurant opening is being opened by the team behind the Guerneville Star restaurant, which again, it's another great restaurant. This is slated to open in summer of 2024, opening in Kenwood. And this is an Italian-inspired restaurant which will feature dedicated pasta program as well as wood-fired grill, as well as a wine bar. So that could be worth checking out. I mean, I could go on for hours about all the great options. As you can see, there are exciting new restaurants opening all the time. And many of the chefs at these restaurants have made their name at restaurants in San Francisco and elsewhere in the Bay Area and beyond. I mean, if you are concerned about moving to Sonoma County and moving to a food desert, then you really do not need to worry. And of course, there's the wine. I mean, I recently went to Texas to view the solar eclipse at a vineyard in Fredericksburg, Texas, which I've been led to believe is the Sonoma County of Texas. Maybe it was overhyped, but really, if that's Texas wine country, I can definitely live without it. It's only when you leave Sonoma County you realize how lucky we are to drink such great local wines. And the irony of our trip to the winery in Texas is that we did a tasting and 50% of the wines they poured, they were from Sonoma County. I mean, it was pretty funny. They called it a winery, but the reality is they grew no grapes and served wine from elsewhere. Except that is for the sweet peach or apple and orange wines they seem to specialise in. I mean, it really did take me back to the 80s in the UK with lots of sweet white wines. But back to Sonoma County. Where you choose to live in Sonoma County will definitely influence the wines you tend to drink, given a lot of people will tend to drink hyper-local wines. So if you love the big zins, then Dry Creek Valley is a good place to be. If you fancy something a little lighter in your reds, then you've got the Russian River with their Pinots. And then obviously you've got the coast for some of the more delicate whites. Sonoma County is a haven not just for wine lovers though, but also for aficionados of craft beers and artisanal spirits. I mean, the area boasts several noteworthy breweries and distilleries, including the world famous Russian River Brewing Company, known for its iconic Pliny brews, the Pliny the Younger and Pliny the Elder. I mean, I personally love Crooked Goat Brewing in the Barlow in Sebastopol, which has actually now opened a second location in Petaluma. I also should mention my local craft brewery, which is Fogbelt Brewing, which is located right next to the train station in Healdsburg. And throughout the county there are numerous craft distilleries. I mean, in Healdsburg, for example, you'll find a number of craft distilleries with places like Young and Yonder Spirits, which have their own gins, their own vodkas, as well as award-winning bourbon. Also in Healdsburg is Alley 6 Craft Distillery, known for its small batch spirits such as rye, whiskey, and also uniquely flavoured bitters. So whatever your tipple, you'll find something in small batches and made locally in Sonoma County. But do you know something even better? I promise you that if you subscribe, I'll continue to bring you more and more videos on everything you need to know about this area, from lifestyle to real estate market tips, things to do, and much more. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And by the way, if you are moving to Sonoma County from out of the area, make sure to grab my Sonoma County relocation guide in the description below. There you'll find everything you need to know before moving here. A breakdown of the area, the things to do, the different neighborhoods, and way more. So make sure to check it out in the description below. So do people move to Sonoma County for the real estate? There's no question that if you are looking to move from a city such as LA or San Francisco, there's a huge diversity of price points and also types of homes, ranging from historic homes in the iconic cities of Petaluma, Sonoma, and Healdsburg to more rural properties outside of the city limits, to also big vineyard estates. If you enjoy the redwoods and the feeling of a cabin in the woods, there's lots of places in the 600 to 800k range in the Russian River area, which is definitely popular with both vacation homes as well as local residents moving here. Compared to places like San Francisco and the Bay Area in general, Sonoma County house prices have continued to increase, whereas some of those other markets have fallen over the past few years. One of the reasons for this is that in relative terms, homes are still relatively affordable because many of the buyers are from the Bay Area, so they get paid Bay Area salaries that are considerably higher than the Sonoma County salaries. And the other fact to take into consideration when it comes to the upward rise in home prices is the attraction of Sonoma County as a destination among people who are either work optional or retired, further driving a housing market right now where cash is king. I mean, it's been well documented. We're in the middle of one of the biggest ever transfers of wealth from baby boomers aged 60 to 80 years old who hold 70 trillion in assets, which is half the nation's wealth. And there's no question that some of this wealth is being used to purchase homes in Sonoma County. So who should and shouldn't live in Sonoma County? There are a lot of people who bought places in Sonoma County during the pandemic because they no longer had to go into the office. However, companies have slowly been putting more pressure on employees to spend more time in the office. I mean, if you have to spend more than a couple of days in the office each week, then you could maybe get away with living in somewhere like Petaluma and still have a manageable commute. But it's probably unrealistic to live in Sonoma County full time if that's your situation. If you are one of those people that is a city person, then whatever city you choose to live in Sonoma County, I mean, it's probably going to feel a little bit too small and a little bit too quiet. I mean, there's no question that wherever you choose to live in Sonoma County, it's going to be a much slower pace of life than living in San Francisco or another big city. I'm not quite sure what it is in Sonoma County, but everywhere's just a bit more relaxed and people don't feel as though they need to be charging around at 100 miles an hour. I mean, I moved from Mill Valley and I love living here, and I think it's perfect if you can either work at home or transfer your job to a Sonoma County based company. I mean, I was lucky that I used to run a marketing agency, so I transferred my sales and marketing skills to real estate so that I could move here permanently. I just didn't want to work and live in the San Francisco area. Similarly, if you are thinking of retiring or you are what I'd call work optional, it's a great place to move to as you look forward to your third act, as they say. So if you made it to this point in the video, there's a good chance that you're thinking about buying your next home, investing in this area, buying a second home, or selling your current one. We'd love to be your real estate resource of choice, so just email me at david@brewingtonhargreaves.com to get started. I mean, our team is the #1 Sonoma County team with over 71 families helped in 2023, with nearly 80 million of real estate bought and sold. I mean, we're here to help you, whether you want to buy a second home, buy a vacation rental, or if you need to get inside access to new properties coming on the market. We've got lots of videos giving updates on the area, new construction, and lots of guides on how to navigate the process of buying or selling a property in Sonoma County. And hey, before you go, if you like this video, you'll love my next video about everything you need to know before deciding to move to Sonoma County. There, I'll break down the A to Z of the different areas, what it's like living there, and way more. So please do check it out. See you in the next video.